It is the Majestic Marie, and we have Tom Clark with us today. Hopefully, Alora will be able to pop in here soon. She's kind of running a little bit late, but that's okay. You know, things happen. But we are glad that Tom is with us, like always. Again, our third peach. How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having me again. And never you fear about the other one. We done kicked her out. We said, if you're going to be late, we're giving a job to the other guy. So I got 3 podcasts, maybe, no, 4. I'm all over the place. So yeah, she tried to show up. Don't let her in. Because guess what? She done blew it.
Well, she can let herself in now because she has full control.
Man,
now.
we should have fixed that before we went live.
I know, right? Just kicked everybody out.
That's right.
If you're late, too bad. And then I'll be eating my words the next time I'm late.
So. She who is late hesitates. I don't know, something like that.
All right, everybody. As always, thank you so much for joining us today. Come on in, leave us a comment, hang out with us, and be part of the conversation. We keep it loosey goosey here on Peaches and Power Bombs, and you guys know the drill. So we're gonna go ahead and get into some news really fast. It was reported today that WWE has hired a horror writer by the name of Rob Fee. I don't know if you know who he is. He's done some work for Marvel in the past.
What's his name?
Rob Fee. Fee, Rob Fee. And he will be the director of long-term creative. He at one time had pitched a Fiend-related movie, which many higher-ups in the company were looking forward to doing, but, Bray Wyatt was released, so they never got to do that. But, however, now that he's been brought in, some of his early projects actually has been supposedly related to Bray Wyatt. He's been doing a lot of the directing for the QR code-related content on there and stuff like that, and a lot of people are very optimistic about him now officially being part of the WWE family, so to speak. So what do you think about them hiring new writers and things like that? Now, before you say anything, however, I forgot this part. He is a long-term wrestling fan, and he's very familiar with the product. So there's that. Just to throw that out there.
I've heard of him. I've never read any of his work, and I'm a comic book guy. But to be fair, I haven't collected religiously in a long, long time. So for all I know, he's tremendous. I'm sure he's talented. We've had this but we've had this thing with WWE for years where they hire people from outside the business to write. You're not going to believe what your partner in crime said. She said, well, she's not here, Tom, you got the job. And I'm like, hey, I don't want any part of this.
Liar.
Me?
Yes.
I got the most honest face here. Are you kidding me? Look at me.
I had to run a friend to town to get her car. She had a procedure done today. And, of course, it was quitting time. Everybody and their mama was getting off of work, and I'm like, really? So I'm here. What's good, everybody? What are we talking about?
Welcome. WWE has hired a new writer. His name is Rob Fee. He has a lot of work done in like horror type stuff. That's his specialty. He is now.
Bray's definitely coming back now.
Well, at one time he had pitched to do a movie involving the Fiend, but
oh, really?
He got released, so it didn't happen. And now he's been doing a lot of the QR code stuff. That's what he's been overseeing lately. So
interesting.
Got some new blood going on over there.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, what I was going to say was, we've been down this road before of that company bringing in writers from other creative fields and whatnot. I mean, none of us should really be surprised. I think maybe some folks out there may have some heartburn over this because Triple H is supposedly the guy. Now, I say supposedly because I know what I read and I know what I hear and know what I'm told. But do I believe he's the only one backstage calling the shots? I don't know if I believe that. I don't guess I have to believe it, right? But
Right.
let them hire whoever they want. If that person is an asset and brings good game to the show, I happen to remember 2 writers being hired last year, early this year. Do you guys remember this? And they immediately received flack because like neither one of them had any background in pro wrestling at all. And I remember on Twitter, one of them bragging about getting the job, and I can't, don't hold me to this, but something about the way she said it was, everyone's like, do you know who you're working for? Like, do you not know what you got hired to do? It felt very detached from what she was actually hired to do or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised, but as I said, if this person can bring value to the programming, I say, why not? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. According to Fightful Select, everyone in the company is pretty optimistic and is showing a lot of positivity towards them hiring this person. They seem to like it. So there's that.
Sweet.
All right. We got some comments over here. Our friend Lance Geek, as he is known over at the Dudes at Ringside podcast, says Bray will interrupt the DX celebration. I don't know if he will or not. Interesting. Chris says, hello, I think as a long-term writer, it's worth a go. And our friend Russell from Puerto Rico, he's in the house. Hello.
Hi.
And
Air
of course,
Jackson.
Yep.
Hope everything's all right your way with the hurricane.
And hey, Carlos, how you guys doing today? All right. I talked about this on TRWC last week, but we hadn't had a chance to talk about it on Peaches and Power Bombs. Apparently, Randy Orton's future might be uncertain. According to the Wrestling Observer, his injury was more serious than originally thought, and no timeline on his return has been given. So, Randy Orton's wrestling career is kind of maybe perhaps being up in the air.
Hanging in the balance.
Yeah.
I hate that because Randy was in it for the long haul, but first and foremost, you just want them to be healthy, and I'm not sure. I know it was a back injury, but I'm not sure about the details, but it's nothing to play with. I have degenerative disc disease where you're basically your disc and your spine's breaking down. So, I mean, you take bumps for a living. I'm pretty sure, that's got a lot that, that's definitely a concern as is. So, all the best for Randy. He's one of my favorite people. So
I echo what you say. All the best to him, but him being done, I believe when I see it. I mean, we all heard if Edge takes one more bump, he's done. We heard the same thing about Shawn, Austin, Daniel Bryan. We heard, well, Daniel Bryan's lost feeling in his arm. It's over. And I'm like, I mean, look at all these guys that have come back. Now, to your point, if he's, if it's time, it's time. And honestly, would you rather wake up in 5-10 years and not hurt? I mean, most guys that spend any majority amount of time of their lives in this business will tell you that every day they deal with pain. And it's to what degree of pain are they dealing with that day? And you'll hear veterans in interviews say, well, how are you feeling? And the other guy knows what it means. It means, well, today wasn't too bad. The knees hurt today. Yesterday it was the back or whatever. So it's.
Yeah.
But like I said, if it's time, it's time.
Especially with what he does with the RKO, he's landing directly on his back. I think he's taking more of the bump than the person that he's got the move on. So that has probably taken a lot of toll, just landing directly on its back time and time after again, his legs going out like that too. So that can't be good.
Fair. Yeah.
But all the best to
Kat
Randy.
has made it, guys. She finally decided she wanted to show up.
Has she not been around lately or something?
Yeah, she has.
She behaved herself last night.
I can't have the animals in here with the green screen. So today I tacked it up, and as soon as I open the door, one of the cats comes marching in as if he just owns the place, just right in past me. I'm like, dude, come back. So I had to grab him and put him back out because they'll play with this thing and tear it all to pieces. So
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JD Wolf is saying hello. Hi, JD.
Hi.
And of course, Ray All Day is here. And
Ray
he says,
all day.
he says, hello, Adam Cole is king. Braves cheated all 3 games, and Tom Clark, my BFF.
He's
y'all
still
just
going on about the
salty.
Braves, man.
Salty. Salty.
Ray bought my dinner in New York, so I owe him a dinner. So yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
it's awesome.
How was that? I saw the pictures and I was
It was
like,
cool.
Good.
It was cool. I didn't get to do anything but work, but it was fine. I didn't get to see anything or go anywhere. Basically, I saw everything from the back seat of an Uber or whatever little time we had to actually walk from one venue to the next. But it was cool. It was cool. Getting to meet Ray was nice. Hanging out with him, talking about, a lot more stuff than just pro wrestling, turns out. So that was cool. And
That's cool.
Good.
yeah. And we all 3 live in the same kind of general vicinity here in the South. So, you hear your whole life, TV and movies and whatnot. New York is this and it's that, and everyone's hateful and they hate each other. And I'm like, I didn't encounter anybody with a rotten attitude in New York at all. Same with
That's not
Chicago.
true.
Yeah.
That's not true.
I mean, it depends on where you're at in the city, but honestly, you could say that about any city, right? So like, yeah,
Mhm.
I had a good time though, for sure.
Good.
I was up in New York when I was in college because I was in the university chorus, so we got to go up there and sing at Carnegie Hall. And I lost my phone one day, and someone actually turned it in at the front desk at the hotel. And you hear all these stories about New York, right? So I'm expecting that thing's gone, but someone actually turned it in. So
you played Carnegie Hall, so it goes back to the old joke. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, man, practice. So there you go.
Yeah, it was a cool moment. It was a cool moment.
Nice.
Shane says Majestic Marie Tales from the Territories starts tonight on Vice TV, and they starting with Memphis Wrestling at 9 p.m. Central. That's cool.
Shane, I am grabbing my pen right now.
I've been my dad, my family is from up north in southern Indiana, and they grew up right across the river from Louisville, Kentucky. So every Tuesday night, my dad would go over to Louisville and watch the Memphis wrestling that was at the Louisville Gardens on Tuesday night. So it's and that was where my dad took my mom on their first date. And someone landed in her lap. They were in the second row seating.
Oh my gosh.
And someone flew out of the ring and landed in her lap. And my dad actually still got a second date. So, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. So
that's so cute.
I can top that.
Oh, sorry.
I maybe can top that. It's not wrestling related. My dad tells my mom on the first date that he loves her. On the first date, okay? And I was like, what did you do? She's like, well, I didn't answer the phone for a week. I thought he was out of his mind. I was like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
But I guess he wore her down eventually. So there you go.
Well, I have a date Saturday. So I'm hoping if the date is listening.
You wanted to tell you that he loves you? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying what not to do.
Oh, I get it.
What not to do.
Welcome, kids, to Dating 101 here on the Facebook. I'm Tom. These are the ladies. Thanks for tuning in.
Woo, that would be interesting. Oh man, Christopher's here. Hi, Chris.
Hey,
What's up,
Chris
dude?
from the Straight Up Wrestling Show. Eagles are the only undefeated team in the NFL. I'm happy and sad about that. I'm sad the Dolphins ain't undefeated anymore, and but I'm happy that it's the Eagles and not a team like the Raisins or the Squealers.
Yeah. Gotta show Brino Royce some love in the house. Brino's in the house.
Hey, Brino, how are you?
And Ray says that Tom Clark is the realest dude ever. Great guy to know. He said the Braves cheated as well all 3 games. How can he say that when that was last week
salt,
before
man.
they even played? The salt, y'all, you're just upset.
Prognostication. That's how. Prognostication. So
Ray and I have been picking on each other all season. Every time the Braves would be first place, I would have to tag him. And every time the Mets were first place, he had to tag me. So it's all in
Nice.
good fun. We've been having a lot of fun. Okay, so we have a little bit of a new segment today. It's called Ask Tom.
Oh,
nice.
oh,
I have a WWE question and an AEW question. And first, we'll get into the WWE question. We're just going to kind of roll with it.
Ask
So,
the third peach.
Everyone knows if you watch Tom Clark's main event that he's kind of given up on WWE. That's what he says. I've given up on that company. I'm not going to watch
sound
all
like
that
that?
much. Yes.
Man, I've given up on that company. Jeez, I'm harsh.
You can be sometimes, but it comes from a place where you've given them a chance after chance after chance, and you're just like, okay, I'm done with it. Okay.
And they cheated on me a bunch. They cheated on me all the time, and I caught them every time. So yeah, no, I can't go back to her again. Are you kidding me? Cheater.
So, has that changed since Triple H has come around? Are you going to start giving them more of a chance, or are you just going to kind of stick to your guns? Are you going to, there's a lot of positive stuff going on over there. Are you buying into it, or are you just kind of like, I want to tread with tiptoes or something?
I wish them nothing but the best, like they need my help on anything. But like,
Mm-hmm.
Unlike others who float around in our space, I don't long for the moment a company falls.
No.
And if any one of you are, you know who you are. Shame on you, by the way.
Yeah.
So I don't want anything bad to happen to that company or anybody working in it. They provide and they put a lot of people to work. They fire a lot of people too sometimes, but I'm taking jabs where it's unnecessary. They put a lot of people to work and they're all over the world. And, let's face it, without them, where would modern pro wrestling be today? And you can make arguments for and against that idea. But no, they've got some extremely talented individuals behind the scenes and on camera. So
Right.
I want nothing for the best for them. I would love to tell you that I will, starting Friday, invest all the time I have into watching 5, 6 hours, 7 hours a week. I just can't. I'd love to. Does this mean I'll never watch again? Not necessarily. I will catch an occasional program. Well, we'll see what happens. I hear that they're bringing NXT back to the original NXT. That all that's going to change. Good for them. Never should have changed to begin with. I hope all these changes are for the better, and I hope it's good, and I hope it's great. And I'd love for them to become must-see TV again. And I still believe that there's room enough at the table for every company, not just one. And
Right,
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that a lot of their diehard fans don't believe that, and I think that's a shame. So
yeah, that's a shame. Yeah. Obviously, everyone here has a family, people that they care about, things that they need to do, people that they need to spend time with. So, I don't watch all of that every week. I have to pace myself. Okay, this is a priority and this is not, and it for the most case varies. Personally, I like Dynamite the best. I think it's the best show on TV right now. So I make that a priority to watch it every Wednesday night. Everything else I kind of watch just in bits and pieces here and there and just try to keep up with it. But I don't, watch it all religiously. So no one expects you to do that.
In this day and age, you kind of have to. When we were like in our teens and 20s, we could watch it all day long. Now, work, family, all this stuff, it's tough. Now, sometimes I have somebody message me, be like, "Oh, you should check out so and so on Impact," and I'll be like, "Okay, well, let me DVR a couple episodes, check it out, or look it up online, and go from there." And same with New Japan. I they came back on AXS, and I just haven't had the time to watch it. So, but it's on the DVR.
So, Laura, I don't know if we've actually talked, if you and I have actually talked about how you feel about the new changes going on in WWE. Do you find them going into a more positive direction?
Yes, I definitely think so. Just reading general news and not hearing as much negative remarks or smart comments from the talent. A lot of people really didn't have a bad thing to say about Triple H boss wise, as far as the direction NXT and all that. So I think um I think change is a good thing for WWE. That something needed to be done. They're not going to fix everything overnight,
Oh,
and
no.
obviously not. But I can, just like with this whole White Rabbit thing they're doing right now. I can appreciate them trying different stuff. What works, what doesn't, trial and error. I mean, that's all you can do. So yeah, I definitely think you're seeing more. You're seeing improvement in quality. TV alone. You're seeing more wrestling. It's not 2-minute matches. You're actually having like 10, 15, 20-minute matches. Multiple. Might be one ever so often, but you're seeing multiple matches given quality time. So
Yeah.
I think a little bit goes a long way in this case. And you can tell the talent looks a lot happier too. They're more at ease, I think. So
Yeah, and last night was actually a good proof for that. Because before that Bobby Lashley and Mustafa Ali match, Bobby Lashley would have bulldozed right over Ali, and that would have been over. But
and
it
you know what?
wasn't.
I thought it was going to be a squash match, and they proved me wrong.
It wasn't. It was actually a struggle, and they kind of did like they did with Jeff Hardy when he went up against the Undertaker. He just kept coming back at him, and then it was more like a respect type thing instead of turning somebody at the end. So that was a nice little bit of change too. So they're doing a lot of good stuff over there, I believe. All right, let me get some of these comments before we move on. Ray's still talking about the Braves. I'm sorry.
Let it go, Ray. Let it go. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Mina had to throw her 2 cents in a minute ago in case anybody heard her.
Chris is saying that Vince has ruined Bray Wyatt. I don't think so. Well, I mean,
think
he
was
tried
talking
to.
about me.
Oh, you? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, him. Okay.
Yeah. I think so. I like Ray's comment. Carmelo is the only good thing about NXT. I mean, they flat out handed that show to was it Toxic Attraction? They just flat out handed that show to those three, and I'm like, first off, I have no issue with a woman being the face of any brand. Zero. Yeah. In fact, and I think we can all agree it's about freaking time. But Mandy Rose, I don't know. Some people
Toxic Attraction.
Some people are sold on her, but I mean, the same people who, maybe not the same, but the same people who, a lot of them, who hate the fact that it's Roman. They do the same thing with her, but yet they love her. And I'm like, you can't really, how are you not seeing that it's kind of the same? I don't know.
It's probably because it's mostly dudes and they think Mandy Rose is hot, so she gets a pass.
I suppose. I don't know.
Mina's echoing my sentiments.
Well, all those rumors, and thankfully they've died down since they began, but all these rumors about them wanting to bring back the Divas division or some such nonsense. And I'm like, Come on, guys. Haven't we come through way too far for that? But buddy, if they did, she'd be there. She'd be there. She'd be one of them. Honestly, no disrespect. But when I look at her, do I see Natalia? Do I see, AJ? Do I see, Britt Baker? No, I don't. No disrespect. That's just one guy's opinion. So
She's not my favorite either, but you know, I think she's trying her best over there.
oh, I will not disagree with that at all.
Yeah, I think her going to NXT, she completely changed her look, with the brunette hair and had this brand new attitude with Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. It really I really enjoyed them as Toxic Attraction. They were one of my favorite things on NXT. Not saying they're the greatest ever, but I like the fact that there was so much focus on the women there because you have more people coming up like Wendy Chu. You have Roxanne Perez, who went by Roxy in the South. They're giving her a great run right now, solo run, and then you got Cora Jade too. So they were able to focus on several women at one time, and then they developed that program with Roxanne and Cora Jade, because Cora Jade turned on Roxanne because she cashed in her little title opportunity winning the NXT thing that they have. But yeah, I mean, so I feel like it was good for the women's division, and it was definitely more of a focus, and that was a good thing.
I won't disagree with that. Chris is asking Tom a question. He wants to know, why are some wrestling fans and those who are in the business so toxic? Because people are people.
Yeah, people suck. Next question. No, I'll be honest with you. Here's where I think it starts, and this is not aimed at anyone, okay? But I think it begins with, well, that's stupid. Here's what they should have done. And we've all said something to that effect at some point as a fan, not just of wrestling, but Star Wars, movies, anything, TV, whatever. This idea that, well, that's dumb. Here's what I would have done.
Mm-hmm.
This sucks. Here's how I would have done it. But nobody asked you. So, I don't know. We can all lament what they do right and do wrong or whatever, and we can say what we'd like to see happen. But in my opinion, it begins with that baseline of, I wouldn't have done it that way. Okay, but your story's not the one they're telling. Sometimes that sucks, because I think we all on this show agree that sometimes we feel like we have some pretty darn good ideas, but our stories are not the ones they're telling.
And it hurts our feelings.
It does. It sucks, right?
We're not especially getting paid for it either. That's worse.
I mean, especially with a guy like Bray, who, how do you let him flame out? And I don't want to hear anybody talking about Bray this or Bray that. I don't want to hear it. Save it, okay? He never should have flamed out to begin with. The whole Fiend thing, was that all him? As we've heard, they couldn't reel him in. Vince let him go, and he didn't reel him in. Whatever. I don't know if we'll ever know 100%. But he's a once. They call Okada once in a generation, or is that Tanahashi? Tanahashi's a once in a generation talent, whatever. I don't know if I'll call Bray that, but name the guy that was Bray Wyatt before Bray Wyatt. Go ahead. You can't. Time's up. So there again, and the other company's guilty of it too, letting people fall by the wayside that we feel should never have fallen by the wayside. So in my opinion, Chris, that's where I'm coming down from. And plus I watch from a distance and I don't comment, and I guess people think I don't watch, but I'll watch podcasts here and there, and all I see is this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this. Yikes. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's me. You know that guy. I just don't want to sit here and be. I can be
negative.
Harsh, but if you can find a show I've done where I'm negative from the beginning to the end, maybe it exists. I don't know, but I really try not to be, because I just don't see the point in it.
No.
So.
And we try to be positively peachy over here
Yeah.
on Peaches and Power Bombs. We don't like to dwell in the negativity. I mean, we might go over some things and we might say, hey, that wasn't really for me.
Sure.
But we try not to knock the actual person trying to do it. We don't try to trash their work ethic or anything like that. So
Sure.
I think that's
I think, I think too that we're all so used to being disappointed by WWE.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah. That, automatically you're just like, oh no. And that's the one thing I kind of learned doing this in writing is looking on the bright side of things. Like, okay, it might not make sense right now, but I see what's going on here. It kind of helped me look into that aspect of it. So, that's just kind of my take on it. And of course, Mina wanted to say something too.
okay. Douglas Duke over here says Liv Morgan, I believe, loses the title at Extreme Rules on Saturday night. We're going to talk about Extreme Rules for like a minute or so, maybe not too long, since Tom hasn't really kept up with it as much. So we
don't let me stop you. If you
briefly
want to
go over it a little bit. I just thought we could talk about the match that we're looking forward to the most. I'll go first, and then Laura, you can do yours. Tom, if you plan on watching the show at some point, you can comment as well. I'm really looking forward to the fight pit between Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins. And I never thought I would find myself saying that, but they've actually done a really good job with this storyline and keeping the heat, even though they've been in a story for about 4 or 5 months. And usually the way they do it over there is that they make you tired of it in 3 weeks because it's just the same repetition thing. But they've actually kept these two pretty fresh. So I'm really looking forward to Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins. They've done a really good job. Both of them have. And I was pleasantly surprised because Matt Riddle hasn't been my favorite person, and I'm really enjoying him right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, Laura, what are you looking forward to most at Extreme Rules?
I really didn't see the card, but I'm going to echo your sentiments with Riddle and Seth Rollins. I think this match is going to surprise a lot of people. And because, Seth is always a hot mess with his little pink and purple crop top gear he has on and all this crap. But what makes it so good is this has become very personal.
Yeah, it has.
And we like it when things get personal. Well, a lot of us do. But I like the fact that they're working together despite that, and sometimes it makes for good stuff. I mean, it's happened before. So yeah, that would probably be the one I'm looking forward to the most. For
the card is pretty interesting because I know one of the critiques that people have had over the years as far as Extreme Rules is that they always feel like Extreme Rules is never extreme enough. You have all these traditional matches and maybe you get one Extreme Rule match in the main event and that is it. And you're like, I thought this was called Extreme Rules. They have a ladder match, Bianca Belair versus Bayley for the Raw Women's title. Yes, they have an I Quit match between Edge and Finn Balor. They have the fight pit with Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle, and oh goodness, is Roman's? Go ahead.
I'm gonna change my answer. I'm looking forward to Finn Balor and Edge.
Yeah, that's.
I'm still looking forward to the Seth Rollins and Riddle match, but Edge and Finn Balor's gonna be good, like good.
You got McIntyre. You got McIntyre and Cross in the strap match, and right now,
that's right. Yep.
Right now, Roman is not on the card.
Okay, I was trying to think of who's in an Extreme Rules match, but I couldn't think of who they have scheduled for
Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey.
Okay. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right, because they were doing that whole thing with, is Liv Morgan extreme enough in order to do this?
Hey, that table bump she took Friday, that was sick.
And unnecessary, if I can throw that
Yeah.
out there. I just don't know if it was necessary. In my opinion, I don't think it was. And I don't think this is about proving her toughness. I don't really get too deep in those convos like, well, so and so, if you put that guy in a real fight, blah blah blah, whatever. You have to be tough to take a bump in the ring. If you kids don't
Yeah.
believe me, try it. It hurts so bad. Okay,
Dude, I
but
took one bump and I
yeah,
was like, no, I'm better off in the stands.
yeah, it's not pleasant, but like, no one needs to prove their toughness to me. I just felt the bump was unnecessary. I don't like unnecessary bumps for the sake of taking them.
Yeah.
But I will say that you were talking about Rollins getting involved with Seth Rollins in that company. You're not in for a miniseries. You're in for a novel
Yeah.
because he's
Good
so.
comparison.
Yeah, it's you got to pack your lunch, as they say, because it's all day, and that's not a rip on him. He's just got that character that he can just make your life hell
Yeah.
for the duration, and no matter what you do to him, it never really seems to phase him. He pouts like a child and he pitches a fit because he's a really good heel.
Yeah.
But like it tends to be something you can just keep going back to. Where in other feuds that stuff gets old really quick.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of MJF, where you can feud with MJF for 6 straight months and it will feel like a week because
Yeah.
it's just so much good storytelling. I think you get the same thing with Seth. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too. Seth is very special. Very special. Okay, we getting some love in the chat. Thank you, Ray. And Chris. Carlos says Liv Morgan just got the title. She has had it for like 3 months at least. Yeah. There are some comments about Extreme Rules actually looking like an Extreme Rules show. And some people looking forward to Bianca versus Bayley. I think it'll be good. I really like Bayley. She's the best she's ever been right now. And that's saying something because she's been really good all throughout her career so far. All right, moving on. We're going to talk about this for like 3 seconds and then we're moving on, guys, because, we don't want a bunch of negative garbage. Okay, so if you've been living under a rock for the past couple hours, or you're smart, or just smart and don't get on Twitter, congratulations. Your life is so much better for it. Because we saw a Twitter fight between Andrade and Sammy Guevara.
Oh boy. Oh wow.
Apparently in an interview, Andrade has had some comments about Sammy, saying that he complained about Andrade hitting too hard or something, and he sounded like a whiny girl. And then, of course, Sammy has to fire back on social media, which makes Andrade fire back on social media.
Oh,
and I don't know.
He actually
leave the
stopped
drama.
making out with Ty Conti to fight on Twitter. I'm shocked.
Yeah. I don't think that Twitter is the place for this, unless it's a work or something. They're working towards something, but it just didn't feel like that to me. So I don't know. Tom, what is your thoughts?
It's hard to say. We always assume it's always safe to assume pro wrestlers are working because pro wrestlers are workers and what they do is work. It's safe to assume that you can't believe any of this. However, just because you're a grown man doesn't mean you act like a grown man. So, are they handling their business on socials? And here's the thing: you get called out on socials, you're not under no obligation to answer. CM Punk compared Twitter to the open window in his kitchen. I don't like what you're saying. You're in my yard screaming at me. I just shut the window. Shut the F up. Why do I care what you think of me? Which I'm all about that. So like, no matter who provoked who, the other guy never had to answer. And this isn't, I mean, if this is what we've come to, is that to prove your manhood, you're yelling at each other on Twitter behind a keyboard, instead of the old days where to prove your toughness, you're getting into a bar fight with fans who called the wrestling fake. I guess it's a lot safer now, which is good. But is it necessary? I don't know. I mean, it seems like much ado about nothing. And, the rumor was going around, 2-3 weeks ago, that Sammy might be done. It was after that match. I want to say it was Rampage. Remember that? And it was, he kind of said goodbye on his way out and put up this very cryptic tweet, like I'm out. And I'm like, wow. And then apparently he's not out. So like, it's hard to say what the truth is, honestly.
Yeah. It's hard to say. I wanted to talk about Saraya in just a moment, if you need to bring up comments or whatever.
Okay. We'll go ahead and bring up the 2 comments and then.
Okay.
Douglas is saying that Daniel Cormier is the special guest referee in the fight pit match, so that's pretty cool.
I think I'd rather see a fire pit match. That sounds fun. Let's make that happen. Right? Mind the flame. Mind the flame, guys. Be careful.
2022, y'all.
Ray is saying that he hates the Twitter beef and he heard that Bobby Fish. That's speculative. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. They're all.
Yeah.
I think
people
Bobby
make up
Fish
stuff too.
It seems like Fish is trying to get himself attached to wherever he can get himself attached to. Like,
right.
I'm surprised he doesn't hone in on every Twitter beef, talking about, what he said, just trying to get some attention on himself. I mean, he's very quickly turning into that one guy that you don't want to sign because, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing for a fist fight and whatever else supposedly happened that night at AEW, but like, when you're that guy that just, the minute you're gone, all you do is rip people, why would the next guy want to hire you? Because, like, I wouldn't. That's just me. No.
That's like real life, too.
Supposedly, yeah, he's.
Well,
look,
I'm just saying, like, real life, people trash their job or something. Yeah.
Like, it's talking about the tough guy thing. Mm-hmm. So, Bobby, what is it, Fish? Oh, I could take this guy, I could take that guy, I could take Punk, I could blah, blah, blah. Cool, man. Awesome. Guess what? You ain't got to do that in pro wrestling. That's not what we do here. So, like, It's great. It's great that you're the Terminator or whatever you think you are, but it's not really required here. Like, Brock Lesnar can rip the head off anybody, but he doesn't, because then he gets fired and sued, and he don't want that to happen. Pro wrestling is not MMA. Someone needs to go tell Mr. Fish, relax. It's going to be okay. We're good for you that you got a black belt or whatever you're wearing. It's great, but like, and what? And what else you got? No disrespect. It just feels, what are we talking about here?
I don't know. I got my Farmer Brock shirt on, though.
Oh my God, you do. Is that legit? Is that WWE shop?
Yeah, it is. And his little, all right, hold on a sec.
Oh my God, she's going to show the back. Oh my God. I didn't know they made such things.
Yeah. I'm sorry you wasted money on that.
It's no longer, they sold out here in the US. I had to get mine from the UK. So.
Oh, wow.
I was committed.
I am wearing Alexa Bliss. Speaking of the name, let him in. Where does this say? Yeah. Let him in.
I got nothing. I'm just black like my soul. So.
You are a character, Tom. You don't need anything on your shirt.
Oh, I like the way you said that, but maybe I don't like the way you said that.
I didn't say it was a bad thing.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Okay.
That's fine then.
I do have this in the lineup, Alora, so we were great minds, right?
Yeah, great minds think alike.
So,
go ahead.
I was just going to ask you guys, Alora and I talked about it for like a couple minutes last week, but we didn't really get into it all that much. Tom, what did you think of Saraya's debut and what she might potentially bring to that AEW women's division?
As with everyone, they or the other guys sign, as long as she's used correctly and everything goes her way, I'm happy for her, and hopefully everything will go her way and she's used correctly.
Right.
You know, I will argue until my last breath that the issue is not that they have too much talent. Hogwash, I say. I don't believe that. I just believe, you know, how many balls can you juggle at one time?
Mm-hmm.
And if the answer is I can't juggle anymore, then don't. Take a
Right.
breath, take a step back. Doesn't mean your roster's too big or you're bloated. I hear those things all the time. Roster's too big. Shut up. If you're not able to juggle all the balls, then that requires a step back to look and see what you're currently juggling and what can you do to juggle more, I guess is what I could say. I like her. Hopefully she's healthy. They ripped Taz, or was it Taz, because he said she can flat out go. Well, she's not cleared. What are you talking about? And I'm like, hey, morons. He didn't mean right now she can go. He meant she can go as in, man, she can flat out go. It doesn't. Do you see what I'm saying? You can't
Yeah.
even say anything without it being ripped apart by people who are like, oh. So, like, I don't know. I like that she's done a turnaround. Not crazy about the dude she's with because yikes. Hoy. But, you know, again, there's beside every wrestler, or maybe in here, there's something bad happening, it seems. Just, you can't win, I guess. But no, if she's handled correctly and everything goes her way, that's good. And honestly, I won't take credit for this one. I saw this on Twitter and I can't remember who said it, but everybody that had a problem with her and said something to the effect of that she didn't look as good as she did before or some such nonsense. And I'm thinking, this is all coming from guys who were looking at her naked because certain videos leaked. First off, she
Mm-hmm.
was how old when that happened? Dude.
20,
Yeah.
21 or something.
Yeah. And she broke into the business at age 18 or 19. Like, oh, she doesn't look at really. So at 18, you thought she looked good, huh? What are we talking about? So yeah, as with anything else, as Chris said earlier, people are insanely toxic. And
Yeah.
it took me a long time to answer your question. I apologize, but no, I like her. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, good things.
I agree. Uh, you know, we're all wondering if she's going to wrestle or not, and her thing on Wednesday really she didn't really elaborate too much on it. But the one thing that she said that people just lost their mind over, she made a comment, it's nice to have a boss who finally listens to me. And everybody's like, oh, well, she didn't do nothing the last few years, blah, 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 blah. It's a job just like anything else. My job, half the time I don't get listened to. But that's something that happens at every job. Sometimes people don't want to listen to you. But me, I'll, if some shit goes down, be like, well, I said it, but it was your money. So, I don't care. But, people are just making that. I think they're making something out of nothing here. She probably did pitch a few ideas just like everybody else backstage. And Vince is like, no, no, do this. This is good shit here. Do this,
Yeah.
Uh, but,
And
yeah,
honestly, who should tell her story? She should
her.
tell her story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that's what she wants to say, and just because people don't agree with it, who cares? It's her story to tell. I mean,
It's we're
Danielson walked
not
out of that.
backstage.
Right. Danielson left that company, never threw that company under the bus, and made a
Mm-hmm.
point to say on AEW television, I have nothing wrong against that company or the people that run it. That's
Yeah.
his. He's not trying to stay in their good graces, kids. He just doesn't have a bad story to tell. A lot of other people do. Let them tell their story. Who cares where they say it? You may not like it, but it's their story to tell. Let them tell it.
You know,
Danielson's not that kind of person either. He's a very professional and almost optimistic, positive person. He's not going to do that. That's not in his character.
mm-hmm. Yeah. My point was, you can have a great job. There's gonna be something that you don't like about it. I mean, hello. I mean, because I'm pretty Paige or Soraya. Saraya, she made a point. She was grateful for all the opportunities she was given during her time in WWE. But maybe some stuff happened backstage, and somebody, being TK might have listened to her or agreed with something she said. She feels validated. Don't hate on that, because you're not backstage. You don't know what they said to her. You just kind of, like I said, it's like a job. I don't get listened to in my job sometimes. I let it roll off my shoulders and keep going, because there's so much worse out there. And I think that's where she was coming from as well. And, like I said, something out of nothing. Stop.
Ray says, hope Saraya wrestles the right women. Definitely not try Ty or Anna Jay. Don't want to see her get hurt. I also heard she thinks the Braves cheated. Oh, gosh. There it is again.
Oh, boy.
He's a dog with a bone, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He just keeps chewing.
I'm gonna go to sleep tonight, and then I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be like, the Braves are cheated. They said the Braves cheated.
Boo. Yeah, we're not entirely sure if she's going to be able to wrestle or not. There's some people that said, "Oh, she's not cleared," and then she gets on her Twitter and says, "Don't believe what the dirt sheets say." Mm-hmm. So we just don't know, and when they're ready to tell us, they'll tell us.
Yeah, and
let it be that.
With that being said, too, Saraya in AEW, Saraya. Her being in AEW, huge acquisition. I know I didn't see it coming. Tom was at Grand Slam. I know you heard that pop.
Oh, I wasn't at Grand Slam.
Oh, I thought you were.
No, I was working that week, so I didn't have time to go do fun wrestling shows.
Oh, I thought you went. Okay.
No, that would have been cool. Ray really wanted to go, but I just couldn't make it happen on my end. So yeah.
Yeah.
Boo. That's sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great moment for her. Huge acquisition for AEW, and if she gets to wrestle, that's going to be awesome.
All right, so I don't have much more time for everything I wanted to go over, but we'll skip to this real quick. If we get
Ray
to
was
at
Grand Slam. My apologies. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Ray was
that's
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. That's cool. Our second Ask Tom question.
Oh.
And I will extend this to Alora too.
Okay.
If you could pick one person on the AEW roster you would like to see them do more with, who would it be, and what direction would you like to see them take?
Ooh, that's tough. Because you just assume you'd have 9 answers, because they've got quite a few people there that aren't being used all the time. Mm-hmm. Man, that's a good question.
I think Ray all day answered the question for you, Tom.
He did? Oh, yeah. Adam Cole's his answer to everything.
Oh, yeah,
World peace, Adam Cole.
Yep.
And Slim J. Don't forget Slim J.
Do I think that Strickland can do more on his own? Yeah. Do I think Keith Lee can do more on his own? Yeah, I do. Is Powerhouse Hobbs a world title contender a year from now? Absolutely. He keeps going on the path he's on right now. Nyla Rose. Why are we only seeing Nyla Rose in backstage segments?
Yeah.
I wish that she had never crossed paths with Jade, ever, because that's the match you save. Never have them come face to face until it counts and matters the most. When she gets to 40 wins or whatever it is, and then she's like, no one's in the back, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then Nyla Rose's music hits and everyone goes, oh my God, I kind of forgot about her. That would have been epic. There's several people in that company that I think could you know, potentially do more. I don't know if I've got just one person. Um, I like the Acclaimed are finally getting their shot in terms of tag teams. That's pretty
Mm.
cool.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die laughing on Raw Monday if the crowd starts doing the scissor me chants. I will die laughing.
And you know that begs the question. I've seen that and heard that joke as well. But like, how many of that crowd are? I don't know. I go back and I watch Cody's return when all you heard was wrestling has more than one royal family. Did the pop happen for the voiceover, or did it happen when the logo popped up and people put two and two together? I can't answer that
It,
question. How much you see what I'm saying? How much of that crowd truly knows about AEW? Because I'm telling you, I don't know about you two, but I encounter many people that not only not watch that company, couldn't even tell you what channel it's on, because all they
Yeah.
watch is WWE.
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know if they might even watch AEW like religiously, like we do. But I think they're that because of internet and stuff. I think they
Hmm.
might be familiar with what goes on. I think they were familiar with what Cody was going for in AEW. So I remember hearing the big pop for the wrestling is has more than one
Mm-hmm.
royal family.
That's fair. I should go
And
back and watch it. Yeah,
I got chills when that happened. So you
we
knew.
did for sure. I'm just wondering if you're in attendance,
Yeah.
you go, wait, who's that? I mean, you know, I don't know.
No. I just remember getting chills and be like, I'll be damned. He actually went back.
I think there was a
Uh,
lot of speculation already that people were already assuming it was Cody. So
true.
It was like the worst kept secret.
He's one of the smartest businessmen, maybe the smartest businessman in wrestling today.
I'm
I
telling you,
just
Dusty would be proud of him.
I mean, you know, Vince was still there, and this guy took his hair color, his neck tat, his music, his gear, his nickname, his finishers. I mean, what? What'd you do to do all that?
Undesirable,
That's so cool.
undesirable to undeniable.
Took his dog with him. Dog's backstage.
Heck
Good on him.
yeah,
Good on him.
we love oh god, what's his name? The
Pharaoh.
dog's Pharaoh. Yes, gosh.
he's so cute. So Laura, I'll ask you that same question. Yep. You'll be dealing with that for a while. I'm sorry, dear.
Oh God, yeah. Listen, I Wade, our friend Wade of Ring Scoops, he sent me a meme this morning with Mr. Hanky from South Park on it, and I'm like, Mr. Hanky, and it was to the guy I'm going on a date with Saturday. So he probably saw that this morning and was like, what the hell? Yeah.
Wait, put it
So
up again. Put it up again.
hold on. Cut my nails today, so
COVID brain. Oh, I see. Nice.
yeah.
It's a
Um
struggle.
yes. Carlos mentioned a moment ago that Penelope Ford, he says you want to push her. That's somebody I definitely want to see go far in AEW women's division. They did a thing on her about a year or so back, and Taz was like, when you look at Penelope Ford, the one thing it automatically stands out as megastar, and I wholeheartedly believe that with her, just from her look, and she's got talent. Definitely would like to see her, you know, reap some of the benefits, and she was somebody I always liked. Timothy was talking about Jamie Hayter. I think we're going to see her and the Doctor before long. It's already happening, to be honest. But yeah, man, and of course, Marie, I want to see more of Eddie Kingston.
Well,
I
it
just
wasn't gonna be so obvious. I was actually gonna answer with a different person than him because everybody knows how I feel about that. So
hmm
he should be in everything. But
Oh, Tom, how do you
Hmm.
feel about Roosh being signed to All Elite Wrestling?
I love Roosh. I was a fan of Roosh in Ring of Honor when he was when they first brought him in. If booked the right way, Roosh is a dominant force. I'm still waiting for this ROH show that we were all told was probably going to happen at some point. And I
hmm
wouldn't be surprised if Khan's had that in the works for months, just trying to find the right time and the right deal. I don't think they're just going to hand them Rampage. I think he'll be shooting for another night of the week, in my opinion. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I love Roosh, and I think Bandito proved to people who had never heard of him that he's amazing. But for
hmm
us who've seen him before, like we already knew, we knew how freaking good he is. Um,
hmm
His first couple of matches in Ring of Honor were scary because he was going way too fast and trying to do too much at one time. And I just remember top rope spots where I'm like closing my eyes, hoping he doesn't kill himself. But like when he settled into his groove, holy God, he's so good. Roosh is good as well. I mean, uh, very talented guys, man. I love that they're using Dalton Castle, by the way, Dalton and the boys. The boys gimmick, just as a side note, is one of the best things ever. Because again, it's like Bray, it's original. You could make little comparisons to stuff, but nothing is Dalton Castle and the boys 100%.
I
So
don't
good.
really get Dalton Castle, so one of these
Love him.
days you're going to have to.
Love him. So
You're
good.
going to have to educate me because, I mean, he's a good wrestler. Don't get me wrong. I can appreciate that, but I'm just like, I don't.
He's like a flamboyant Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
He's in on the joke, but he'll never show you he's in on the joke. You know what I mean? Like
hmm
we all know, but like he will never break character. If you do, he never breaks character. I love that about him.
hmm
that's interesting. I'd like to see a little bit more from Jay Lethal.
Oh, yeah.
I feel, I mean, I know that they have so many people and you only have so much time. And I understand that, but at the same time, you're like, but that guy's really good and he should be on your TV every week. Just saying. Because
Oh, yeah.
you can
Jay
place him
Lethal is
anywhere.
one that worked his tail off for years. And
Mm-hmm.
seeing him in a company like AEW, that's awesome. Yeah, so that's a great point. Timothy, I silently popped for the cheeseburger. You want to see cheeseburger on TV?
Who doesn't
Oh,
love cheeseburger?
I love
I love
cheeseburger,
cheeseburger.
man.
Everyone loves cheeseburger. Who
Yeah.
doesn't? Who doesn't like good cheeseburger? I mean, this guy worked in Japan with some of the greats,
hmm
and he looks like he should be an NBA player. And I only say that because of his body weight, because he's
hmm
long and lean, and he looks
Yeah.
like he's maybe running track or playing. I don't know. Maybe he's a swimmer. That's what I mean. Like,
Uh-huh.
but
I mean,
you put him in the ring, and he can work. I mean, it takes a little time to grow on you, but he comes out the cowboy hat and the mink coat, and I'm like, I
Oh,
love this
I
so
love
much.
him.
I love it.
Oh gosh,
He's like a
yeah, he
really thin
doesn't look
Dusty
like a
Rhodes.
cheeseburger.
no. I
I love
remember. I
him.
remember after he was doing some stuff on Ring of Honor. Jericho had him on Talk is Jericho. He's like, he's my favorite wrestler right now. I'm like, oh yeah, this is good.
Yeah. Yeah. Cheeseburger and I are Twitter friends.
Oh,
Nice.
When Slim J, I think his first appearance on AEW, he posted about it, and I went on there and I was like talking about Slim J and how he's like the baby face of Georgia independent wrestling, at least here in the Northeast, and
hmm
he, we talked about that, so that was pretty cool. What do we have? Okay. We have a Ray question.
Oh boy.
Tom, Dr. Dre, or Nas in part 2, De La Soul or EMPD? And if Adam Cole came to your house with a free sofa and wanted to give another to a friend, can I have it? And later want to get a pumpkin coffee, could I have it as well?
First of all, Dre over Nas for sure. I like
Yes.
Nas, but I have to go Dre. De La Soul and EMPD. I don't know if I can do that. Ray, dude, Ray, freak. It could change as the day changes. I'll go EMPD for today.
Well, you do
Um,
that. I'll say De La Soul.
that works. With a free sofa and wanted to give another one to a friend, sure. Just imagine Adam Cole with all that intensity. Hey, I got a truck out here with 2 sofas. I want to give you one. And have you noticed that Cole has the stutter? You'll know it now. Go back and watch every Adam Cole promo.
Oh my
Because
god. I would be like, Tom, you ruined it.
it's something he picked up. I don't know if it's a rib or what, or if it's just habit, but and he'll start a sentence that way, and he does it in every promo. Ray, you know, don't you? But the answer is yes. You can have the sofa, and you know I'm about that pumpkin. When it comes to fall, I am a typical white girl, baby. That's who I is. Pumpkin all day. So
If they wouldn't put the nutmeg in it, I'd be okay. That's so gross.
I agree, Timothy. Can AEW stop going to Chicago? It's like that's the only place they like to go.
Phil would strongly disagree with your sarcasm because he'd say, "Don't tell them that," because Phil's in Chicago. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's like telling Jim Crockett, "Could you stop going to North Carolina?" What? I kind of get it. I mean, Chicago is a great area for them. I can see where people criticize, but
yeah,
I don't know.
All right, guys and gals. I think that's all we have time for today because I have to scoot.
Just in time.
But real quick before we go, I made an announcement. We made the announcement on our watch along last night, and we have a post up as well. It's pinned to the top of our Peaches and Power Bombs page. So go to that. But real quick, I'll let you know, we just wanted to show you guys how much we appreciate your love and support this past year as we're trying this new venture out with us and bearing with us with all of our kinks and wrinkles and all that and all the COVID brain fog we can we have it all over here. And you guys come every week anyway, and we have a good time and we talk about wrestling, and we just wanted to reciprocate some of that love back. So we are giving away 2 different action figures. The first one is a WWE All Elite collection. It's a Drew McIntyre shenanigans over here.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have a Walmart exclusive. We don't know. This might be, if he decides not to come back, this might be his only AEW action figure. So there's that. So we're giving away those. And you all don't have to pay for shipping or any of that kind of stuff. All you have to do is like and share the post about the contest, and you have to subscribe to Peaches and Power Bombs on Facebook or YouTube. That is it. If you do all those things, your name will be thrown into the hat, and we'll pick out winners next week.
And you can't go and then unsubscribe after you get it. Because
you can't.
They'll know, and they'll call you out, and they'll shame you on live Facebook. So
yes, boo.
Yes.
You will be on the boo list forever.
Oh, yes. Oh, we got to play it then.
Alex don't get any ideas because I already know what he's thinking. Ooh, maybe they'll give me one. No.
And every time you show up, this is the button you get.
Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Don't fight me!
All right, Tom, is there anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Let's go. Tom Clark's main event going since 2014. Just did episode 285 last week. And man, am I tired. Tom Clark's 6M podcast 111 released today. That one is music, movies, music, Marvel magazines, miniseries, and more. So that's a little catch-all geek culture, pop culture pod for you. So yeah, I think that's it from me. So yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on as always.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for coming out tonight. We have an interesting guest for this week. Our special guest will be Dr. Chris Featherstone. He was supposed to be on last month for Suicide Prevention Month, but our schedules just didn't work out right, and we ended up having to reschedule. But we're going to talk about kind of everything from mental health to wrestling, and we're really excited to have him on the show. So make sure that you guys check that out when we drop that. But go ahead.
You got to have Chris and I on together. I love that guy. Chris, shout out to Chris Featherstone. Has been such a mentor to me over the past several years, helped me out, giving me a hand up whenever he could, which is why I always go out of my way to give a hand up to other people, because I believe this stuff works in unison together. If we all help each other, we all end up in a better place at some point. So I love Chris.
I'm really looking forward to our interview with him, and I felt really bad because I had the dates mixed up, you know.
It happens.
Yeah, so it is rescheduled. We will do that, and we will have that up for you when it is done and edited. And so we're really excited. We're really looking forward to it. So
all right, guys. Y'all have a good one.
bye.
Good night, sweet peach. It's time to go. Good night, sweet peach. It's the end of the show. We hate to leave, but we really can't stay. So good night, sweet peach. Good night.